What if you could have access to housing and domestic services on demand, so if you want, you can sleep in a different place every night according to your specific needs and desires at that given moment? What if the only belongings you ever had at your immediate disposal were the ones you could fit in your small backpack, and all the rest were stored in an off-site storage location paired to a speedy last-mile delivery? What if on arrival at your night accommodation, you get a hospitality package containing a fresh set of your own clothes, toiletries, and pajamas, and these items were collected at the end of your stay and transferred to your next accommodation? What if, to further reduce your material belongings, you only kept the ones you needed during the time you were actually using them, so that only objects with an emotional value were the ones you kept permanently? What if you could get usage statistics on your activities such that you could easily return to past accommodations or request again previously deleted items? What if you could also occasionally be surprised with new pairings or unexpected findings to keep discovering on the mundane? What if you could temporarily occupy spaces you move to and temporarily borrow objects that move to you, so that material ownership is replaced by access to services and affordances? What if you had no rental contracts and minimal material belongings, while at the same time you had access to utilities and domestic environments? What if you lived out of desire instead of out of need, so your identity is defined from within, to the point that your past you is not restraining the decision-making of your future you? What if with moderate adaptability, your routine was able to be maintained through different spaces, turning explicit your codified behavior so you can make routines and break them? What if this service is a technicity that decouples your habits from your habitats? What if the feeling of boundlessness was brought to the domestic sphere, so you minimize your territorialization of the home? What if you can decouple the domestic from the sedentary, so that you can be both nomadic and domestic at the same time? What if you can live in domesticity?
Good morning! Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Today is going to be a mix of sunshine and showers.
They can set up office anywhere, anytime.
Where is home? Where do you belong?
First of all, these options are perfect for both long-term and short-term.
You can't choose the weather, but you can choose the right trade for you.
I got rid of most of my stuff.
The only additional items he owns are a few clothes he's stored.
A timeless and concise wardrobe.
Here are a few tips if you want to reduce your personal imprint on the world.
Why would I have 1,600 square feet when I only need 300?
We have all heard stories, people with so much stuff that it fills their house and they're scared to let people see how they live.
It was just too much, too big for me.
They're trying to be more ethical in their approaches.
We are, because the numbers are adding up.
The less stuff, the more freedom.
I started living just out of one bag.
Really only the essentials.
One of the things that I've always loved about simple living is the way that it can help connect us to the things in life that are truly important.
You can also choose how long you want to stay in one place. You can also choose where in that city you want to be living.
Holds possibilities for change that we've never before experienced.
What if home is a state of being, a choice that we make?
And I'm really happy that I didn't put anything in a plan that I have to go somewhere.
To roam and work wherever and whenever they want.
It's quite natural, and it feels really natural when you're in it.
Many people have habits they want to break.
Patterns that we repeat over time, they become daily routines. Habits are not a finish line to be crossed.
If you're having trouble changing habits, it's not you, it's your system.
Step out of the comfort zone.
We've known for a long time that flexibility is a benefit.
It's a choice.
Taxis and hotels are some of the oldest business models around. Now they're being disrupted by an even older idea, sharing.
More than 55 million Americans will use a sharing economy service at least once this year.
One Houston company says it has a way to save you time, money, and headaches by shipping your luggage ahead to your destination.
Luggage handlers will pick up your bags at home or at work and ship them a few days ahead or even overnight.
Americans have more than 5 billion items sitting at home that they no longer use. Almost 1 in 4 people say their garage is too cluttered to fit a car inside.
This would definitely just limit my possibilities.
Henniger already shares her car, her power tools.
So everybody can freely move and they don't have to ask for permission. That control that was there before now has disappeared, and it's about the people.
Ultimately, that's going to be driven by the flexibility of choice.
The shared economy is big business these days. Their companies have made sharing cool again. So why not share other things instead of buying them?
You can share a basketball for 15 cents an hour. Need to charge your phone? There's a power bank share for that.
Listen, do you buy a new outfit for a wedding, maybe a big party, or maybe an office dinner that's coming up? Well, you no longer need to do that.
Affordances refers to the properties of an object and the person. It's the relationship between the object and the person and what the person can do with that object.
Get married, start a family, and do what their parents and their grandparents did, which is move to the suburbs.
When I get married and have children, I'm moving to Calabasas.
What I'd like to show them is how to live in a small, sort of more sustainable way.
Well, when they retired, they sold their house, nearly all of their stuff, and they took the money and decided to live in short-term rentals.
You have a lot of possessions, a lot of money in the bank?
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life.